My name is Chef Blake. I'm a professional African chef instructor.
My name is Linda Ajala, popularly known as Chef Lynn. I'm the Continental Arts Instructor.
Hi, good morning. My name is Chef Muse. I am the professional chef instructor, cuisine.
I am Chef Uti. I am a pastry chef instructor at Reddish Chronicles Abuja.
My name is Saidu Yusuf Abdusalam, and I'm a chef in the professional African class.
I'm Chef Tacos, and I am the professional chef instructor for cuisine class.
My name is Chef Terry, also known as the Big Tummy Chef. I work as a professional pastry chef instructor, Reddish Chronicles Abuja.
All right, my name is Oluwatosin Kambure. You usually call me Chef T. I take the African culinary class.
I am Chef Ediema. I am a culinary instructor at Reddish Chronicles.
I was built to be a chef.
Love of good food.
Hunger. I was very hunger because I just believe that once you're hungry, the ability to actually do more will come. But please mind you that the hunger is not for food, hungry for success. May no go dey turn about the job.
What's inspired me? So my mom was a caterer and a baker. So I started baking. Actually, I don't know when I started baking. I've been baking my whole life. And after a while, when I see things I want to try, I start going on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and all of that. But at the time, you realize that there's a limit to that. So next thing was culinary school. So that's why I'm a chef.
One of those things that inspired me to be a chef is growing up, I've always loved food. I always go to the kitchen with my grandmom, and much later, I find myself always going to the kitchen to cook food. And whenever I go to a restaurant to dine, I was always curious the way they plate the food and bring things together. And that alone really, it shows me a lot that I could do more with this.
What inspired me is really not have liking to eat food. Yeah.
Life actually inspired it.
Okay, I could say my mother. I grew up in a restaurant. Yes, local restaurant, canteen in southwest part of Nigeria.
I would say ice cream. That is what inspired me to become a chef.
You should know that this is what you're supposed to do, and you should always be ready for whatever comes from it.
Passion and dedication.
Resilience. Be resilient. Just know that just try to be better than your last work.
So if I was to say one, I would say a growth mindset. As a chef, you keep on learning, which, like I said, is what brought me here. So you keep on learning. You learn from your instructors, you learn from your fellow students, and in the kitchen, you learn from those above you, those who are coming in. So you need to learn how to learn. That's the biggest mindset you need. And there's also adaptability, because you need to be flexible with people. But one, growth. Have a growth mindset.
Resilience as a chef. Resilience is very important as a chef because the kitchen will humble you. You would face a lot of ups and downs, but you need to have that strength to keep going. You need to have that strength because a lot happens in the kitchen. Your sauce burning, somebody correcting you, somebody trying to tell you you're not doing it right. So you have to be resilient.
Mindsets. Be prepared for anything. Anything can happen in the kitchen. So you can be doing one thing and something is going wrong in another station. So always be alert and also find a way to motivate yourself. Always. It is very, very important. Yeah.
Every chef should be open-minded, open to new experiences, and be willing to learn. Humility is also something you bring into the kitchen. Your personality, whoever it is you are, social status and all of that have no place in the kitchen.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a mindset. I would say it's an attitude. You can have all the skills it takes in the world. You can be the knife skills, the cooking skills, and everything. But one thing that would take you out and that would distinguish you, it's your attitude in the kitchen, because you're going to face a lot out there.
One mindset every chef needs to succeed in the kitchen is the willingness to learn.
We learn a whole lot of things. There is no limitation.
How to use techniques in your cooking. If you learn the techniques, you can cook almost anything.
Just try to build your character, because every other thing can, be learned. But once you have a bad character, it's something that cannot be learned, except you are interested in, changing it.
The biggest lessons. So there's something Chef Stone said at orientation one time, and I say it to students every single time. Every time I get new students, he said, you're here to learn techniques and skills, not recipes. And that is the biggest thing you learn here. It doesn't matter. Sales are always chasing after the next recipe. Oh, this recipe will be better. But as long as you have the techniques and the skills, don't worry. Any recipe you pick up, you will make it work.
One of the biggest lessons, or the lessons students will learn here or in school, is basically knowing that if they are able to learn the difference between being in school and being in the real world, because school you're only taught the basics, and then when you go outside, you see that what has been taught in the classroom is always, or 70%, not how the kitchen operates. So if they can be able to understand that, then they can be able to do anything. Yeah.
That there's so much more to the art of cooking than they ever imagined.
There are always eyes on you out there, especially when it comes to the certificate you're holding. You're coming from Reddish Chronicles. I've had the experience before. They want to test your understanding. They want you to even yourself, But then that thing that holds you as part of this place is what keeps you going as a student.
The biggest lesson students will learn here is confidence and teamwork.
Classroom is different from the real thing that happens outside. The experience in the outside kitchen will teach you differently from what your class will give you. But the basics is very important, which the classroom gives.
Here, the pressure is less than what you will eventually face in the real world. We're just preparing you so that you don't get in there with no experience whatsoever.
You cannot be compared, because at the end of the day, you learn through experience. Yeah.
How similar? How similar? So the pressure is, it's similar in the extent that we try to, should I use the word, to simulate it, or we try to show you an idea of what it's going to be like, because you get to do group work where you get to work with people, you get to have a lot of creative assignments, you also get timed work, because in the kitchen you have to do things fast. So you get to see what it's going to be like in the kitchen. But if I was going to give it a percentage, I would say let's give it 80. But sometimes I would think the pressure is even more here, because you get like the creative assignments. A lot of times when you go to restaurants and you're working there, they already have a set of things that you're supposed to just follow. But with culinary school, you're expected to, yes, follow routines, but also try to bring out your own creative ideas.
Very similar. Here, we try to teach the student a lot of things apart from, it's not all about cooking. You need to have a lot of discipline in the field. You need to have consistency, you need to have timing and all that. And this is the whole thing that happened out there too, in the real life kitchen. So we stimulate that inside them so that when they go out there, they are able to conquer whatever situation they meet out there.
I don't think there's like a lot of similarities, because how again, how schools operates and how the real world operates is totally different, or 70% different, because it's more chaotic in the real world than in the classroom. Because the classroom, they're only teaching you how to do this, teaching you the basics of how things are supposed to be done. And then when you go to the real world, it's almost a different setting and a different ball game. Yeah, I think that's it.
At Reddish Chronicles, we simulate what a real life kitchen outside the school environment actually looks like. We simulate what a high pressure kitchen would be like, what it would feel like. Here, maybe there are air conditioning, but so as to get them that full experience, that days the air conditionings are turned off. Because it's not always those things are going to work in a proper kitchen. Things happen. You're going to face the pressures of a high volume restaurant while you're here in culinary school. You're going to face odd requests from clients, people who have dietary needs, people who don't eat certain kinds of foods, people who are vegan, people who have different requirements that have to be met because they are paying customers. So as culinary school, we try as much as possible to simulate all of that before sending out our chefs into the real world.
Well, the pressure here can't be compared to what is out there, because what is out there is actually very big than here. Here, your tutor can, your chef instructor can help you out. They can, you can cry out to them. But out there is actually different. Nobody wants to hear a crying baby. You'll be spat at, you'll be shouted at, people will mock you. But then the pressure there, it's different. Here is a school, definitely. You're paid to learn, you pay to learn and everything. Over there, you are somebody is paying you. So it's a different thing entirely.
In my experience working in various kitchens, the experience here is just 1/10 compared to the real world.
To be honest, I can't remember. I've seen a whole lot of things, so I can't say which one.
I would say it's a salad dish with blue cheese. I think it was a Waldorf with blue cheese. It was weird. It was very weird.
There are several. Because I don't see shege for this work I can do. So yeah, I can't really point one, but I mean, there are just a lot. I can't, honestly.
I've seen some pretty creative things, but okay, let me talk about one that happened recently. A student baked a cake for her first assignment, and somehow the cake was burnt. Like, it was black and brown. It was a vanilla cake, but it was black and brown, both inside and outside. But at the same time, it was not cooked. And then the cake was soft, like it was really soft, but it was also heavy. It was dense. I don't know how she managed to acquire that, but it was quite an experience.
One of those class practice, and a student tried to make mashed beans, but it later came out like a semovita. So I was wondering what on earth is this? So, and that alone got me always going back to say, oh, this dish is something else. I've never seen anything like this.
I think that was pesto for me. Pesto. Yeah. The first time I was given pesto to actually consume, I was like, what on earth is this?
So that was 2 years ago. I had been invited to the school to actually judge a dish. And there's this particular student that made egusi soup. I literally flipped the egusi soup on itself and it wouldn't pour out of the plate. Literally holding a plate of soup upside down and it wouldn't fall out. It was very, very hilarious. We called it an egusi meringue because it was as stiff peaks and it wouldn't fall off the bowl.
Okay, in one of my classes, I asked a student to do me gizdedo. Unfortunately, I think she hasn't experienced what gizzard is, so she eventually went to do goat's dodo. Unfortunately, she didn't even debone the goat. She had to pack everything inside. So I was like, I asked her to do gizdedo, and she made goat's dodo. So I was just...
I mean, I get surprised a lot these days. So I don't remember anyone in particular. What's one student's dish? I think something with plantain. I don't really remember the details.
I'll use basically leaves to deconstruct the dishes that will come from there.
Eggs. I'll make eggs. Eggs are the toughest and easiest thing to cook at the same time. So I'll use eggs, black pepper, and salt to impress.
Eba stew with fish. No, but honestly, just 3 ingredients. Let me see the ingredients first. Then we'll know what will come out of it. I can't really tell you because at the end of the day, things just used to come when I see the ingredients. So I can't say.
3 ingredients to impress someone. I would say I would make an orange sherbet because I made that yesterday, so it's still in my head. Mine had 5 ingredients, but works with 3: orange, sugar, and cream or milk.
I'll make plantain tacos. That's plantain, fish, and chili pepper. I'll make plantain.
3 ingredients. That would be plantain, rice, and probably a protein. Maybe beef. Yeah, beef.
3 ingredients. There are lots of things that come to mind, but I'll do the one popular dish that every Nigerian enjoys: Indomie and eggs.
Well, I'm a lover of onion. So first thing, give me onion. Give me some potatoes. I'll make you onion roasting with maybe a butter. I'll make you onion roasting.
If I had 3 ingredients to impress someone, I would make a soup.
Having to tell a client that, yeah, I'm going to do this, and I got cut off and I want the food eventually.
I think the worst kitchen fail I've had was a jollof rice before I became a professional chef. I was just winging it, and let's just say that I ended up with a tuwo consistency instead of a jollof rice consistency.
Oh! When I was trying croissants. But I gave up. That's when I now realized that this pastry thing is not for me, so I decided to just leave it. So I washed my hand come up.
Okay, if you check down on I think there's a picture of it online actually, so maybe you scroll down on my social media, on my business page. Someone ordered a cake and the buttercream was too soft, the chocolate glaze was too soft. So basically the cake was actually melting and the writing to everything was melting. So the picture of the cake that's on social media is just from the top, where it doesn't look so bad. Luckily it was a family member, so I got away with it, but it was a paid job.
When I just started taking one of those classes, I made nkobi and I found out there was no ehuru. The spice wasn't there. After tasting it, my student keeps saying, "Chef, we forgot to add ehuru." I was like, "No, there's ehuru inside." But when I tasted the dish, I was like, "Oh my God, what's this?"
Okay, having to cook a tiny piece of fish, this tiny, and it wasn't cooked through. So yeah, that was one of my most embarrassing time in kitchen.
I had a cake in the oven and the electricity went off. The cake sank. I had to start from scratch.
Well, I was trying kitchen hacks up times ago. It's over 2 years now. So I was my kitchen, one of my kitchen equipment. So I was trying to clean it up, especially the board. So I had to put it on the electric cooker to remove all the stains. Before I could say the promise, and the whole kitchen almost came down in fire. So it was more like these acts you try to do to clean up and everything, so that you won't have to, just to make your kitchen clean and some of your equipment very clean. So unfortunately, it caught fire. So I was really embarrassed.
Most embarrassing kitchen fail, that would be making sourdough.
Well, I will have been in the CIA.
If I'm my chef, I would be a tech person. I studied computer science, so I'll be behind the desk somewhere right now.
Maybe probably if finally cook. What else? Maybe I'll just be like a journalist or something. I don't know.
If I wasn't a chef, I think I'd be a teacher or a writer. Those are two things I've always loved doing, which is why I love my job so much. I get to teach and I get to bake. So yeah, either of those two.
I'll be an interior designer because I love beauty. I love aesthetics. I'll be an interior designer.
I'll be a nurse.
What would I be doing if I were not a chef? I'd probably be a computer scientist or an influencer. Cameron loves me.
I would have been a broadcaster because I love broadcasting. Yes, I love broadcasting, so I actually wanted to study broadcasting initially.
If I weren't a chef, what I'll be doing today is project management.
It can come from any of them. The situation surrounding the event on the moment in the kitchen will determine that.
Overly confident, because you would overly confident.
Overly confident students.
Students who think they're talented or students who are overly confident. Can I give you a third answer? Okay, so for me, I've noticed that students who, it's not even a matter of their kitchen skills. They cause chaos in the kitchen based on who they are externally. I think that's the most chaos I've witnessed in the kitchen. People who are taking who they are externally and then letting it get to their head and then causing chaos in the kitchen. And then at the end of the day, you notice that this person doesn't have substance in terms of culinary skills. So I guess it's overly confident, but not overly confident in the kitchen.
Students that feel they are overly confident because they cause a lot of chaos. They already figure it out that they know everything. So learning process for them, it's very difficult. But the talented one can be shaped. It can be shaped.
For me, I mean, it's a pick one answer. For me, I feel like it's both that is going to cause chaos. But if I really have to choose, I think is overly confident students. Yeah.
So for students who think they're overly talented, they create chaos because they think they know more than the chef instructor. And for students who are overly confident, the concept of learning becomes strange to them because they're not willing to learn anything new other than what they are confident they know. So both would actually cause chaos in the kitchen.
Talent is good. Like someone who is overly confident will actually mess up in the kitchen because one, you have to follow instructions. If you're unable to follow instructions, so you skip steps and everything. So if you're overly confident, it might affect you in the kitchen.
Students who think that they're talented.
Water.
Rice. Simple.
Beans! I got your beans. Chicken. Chicken. Immediately chicken. You just give me every part of the chicken stored in my freezer for 10 years, and I don't even like cuisine, but I will cook a different type of chicken dish every day. That's how much I love chicken.
Pasta.
Rice. Jollof rice to be precise.
One meal for the rest of my life. That one is hard. But it's probably jollof rice and chicken with fried plantain.
And that would be beans. I love beans.
Why? One meal for the rest of my life. I would say soup and swallow.
Jollof rice.
White rice.
None of the above. None of the above.
Jollof.
Jollof rice. Jollof rice. Hold on. So there's an explanation for that. Jollof rice or fried rice or white rice. Now it depends on where I am to consume it. It's not everybody that knows how to make jollof rice outside of this wall, right? So if I'm to go out to eat in restaurants or eateries, I will always go for jollof rice, for fried rice, because bad as bad. They might mess it up, but it will still taste better than jollof rice. So I think I'll go with fried rice.
Jollof rice, obviously.
White rice.
Jollof rice.
Cook at home.
Cook at home.
Cook at home.
Eat out.
Eat out.
Eat out.
Cook at home.
Eat out.
None of them.
Plating skills.
Normally now plating.
Plating skills.
Plating skills.
Plating skills.
Plating skills.
Plating skills.
That one is tough. Plating skills these days.
Freestyle.
Freestyle.
Freestyling.
Polarity.
Freestyle.
It depends. History, you have to follow the recipe, but if it's cuisine, I love to freestyle.
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 Onions.
Chop 100 onions.
Anyone no, because I don't have onions. I go chop, plate I go wash. So let me see between the two.
100 dishes. 100 dishes.
I would rather wash 100 dishes.
I'd rather wash 100 dishes.
Love chopping onions.
Wash your 100 dishes.
Definitely music in the kitchen.
No. The kitchen has its own music. I like the hum of the refrigerators. I like the sizzling of the pan. I want to hear the ding of the oven.
Yes. Yes. Yes, but no music.
No. Depends on the mood. But no.
Yes, please.
Yes.
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 Hell no.
I don't really give about pizza, so I don't care. I no feel pick. I don't care.
Ew. No.
Yes.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Good. Yes.
No.
Unlearn to learn.
Stay dedicated. Just keep doing it. Consistency beats talent all the time. Just keep showing up every day, and you will make a great chef someday.
Just be open-minded and be willing to learn, because that's how you grow.
Love it. I'm enjoying my job because I love it, and well, it's basically generic for every job as long as you love it, because your cakes will burn, everything can fall on the floor, you might forget sugar, your ice cream churner is not churning fast enough, you're going to cry, you're going to lie down on the floor, you're going to give up hope, but then you're going to show up the next day and you're going to do everything again because you love it. So that's the most important thing. If you're going to go into this job, make sure that you love it.
One advice I would give to anyone that wants to be a chef is you should be open-minded. You should be ready to learn. You should be like a sponge, because being a chef, it takes a lot of things. It takes your time. It takes everything away from you. So at that point, you're just, I don't know, just learn to be happy. Love what you do, because sometimes it becomes very boring. You doing a particular thing again and again and again, it becomes very boring. You need to love your job. You need to learn further, allow yourself to grow. And that's just it.
One piece of advice. Do what makes you happy. Just do what makes you happy. And again, someone's experience, someone's years of experience should not be the reason for you to want to be quick. You want to meet up with the person. The person has failed hundreds and hundreds of times with maybe someone has 7 years of experience and you are just getting into the culinary industry. Don't expect that you're going to be as good as that person that has years of experience. It takes patience and learning for you to attain experience. So yeah, don't be in a hurry to rush to be at someone's level. Everybody has their own time and goal and experience, and journey.
Life will teach you a lot of things, but you'd learn more in the career of being a chef. Every career has their own unique nuances, but being a chef teaches you a lot more. You learn flexibility, you learn adaptability, you learn creativity. You become an artist. You become every single part of yourself. You discover them as a chef. You learn to become patient. You learn to become relatable. You learn to become a psychologist even when you're a chef. So all of those things, they are experiences that anyone who wants to be a chef should be open to learning. They should be open-minded enough to learning. The idea of learning should never stop. You should never stop growing. Never stop evolving. You should always evolve and grow.
Yeah, like I said in the beginning, just have a good attitude. Your understanding, everything can take you out there. It can give you any kind of job in any kind of place, even the most expected place you'll be. But your attitude is very important, because a lot of people skip that part when it comes to schooling. Just take any kind of attitude out there. Trust me, it's not going to work. You need the right attitude to be able to, work in any place and survive and become what you want to be.
One piece of advice I would give anyone who wants to become a chef would be to be patient and really define what being a chef means to you, because it is a long, well-wind journey, and if it doesn't make sense to you, you're going to end up feeling unfulfilled. So really know what you want to be or what being a chef means to you before you embark on the journey.